Now, when people talk about Xiaomi AirDots wireless earbuds, there are a few things which will come to our mind first. There's usually like cheap, light, basic, simple. So when Xiaomi actually announced the Redmi Buds 3 Pro a couple months back in July 2021 with an all-new look, design, and it comes with Bluetooth 5.2. It also comes with, ANC, transparency mode, and other features. I knew I had to get one, even though I am actually an iPhone user. And lucky me, I actually came across an offer on AliExpress a couple of weeks ago. So my fingers quickly actually click on the buy button with my own money to try it out. Hi everyone, this is Johnny here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In my channel, I basically focuses on reviewing budget and affordable wireless earbuds to help you to decide before you hit the buy button. And of course, if you like such content, it'd be great if you could smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. Besides that, share my content with your friends who would actually find such content relevant to them. And of course, without further ado, let's get into today's video. Now, the Redmi Buds 3 Pro, they retail for around $50 US, which is around, $299 China renminbi. On AliExpress website, I ordered one around 25th August last month, and it arrived at my doorstep pretty quickly, about a week later. That's very fast. If you're interested, I'll put the seller's detail in the description below. You can go and check it out. Now, I've actually been testing the Redmi Buds 3 Pro for the past 2 weeks. And before you actually go out and hit the buy button, here are the top 3 things you need to consider first. And of course, towards the end of this video, I'll be including audio tracks which will actually demonstrate the microphone quality of the Redmi Buds 3 Pro. Now, in terms of the basic things, do take note that this one actually has 2 variants. The first one is called the Redmi AirDots 3 Pro. Now, if we see that is actually meant for China only. The one I have here, it is called the Redmi Buds 3 Pro, which is the international variant. Now, the main difference between these two is that one, the China only, which is the AirDots 3 Pro, the entire interface is in Chinese. Whereas for the Redmi Buds 3 Pro, the entire interface is English. Alright, and besides that, there's also some differences whereby for if you're going for the AirDots 3 Pro, they will be able to be recognized by the Xiaomi MiEye app. But that's the first thing to actually take note, the differences. Alright, they're exactly the same, but there are 2 versions. One is meant for China only, another one is meant for international. Now, it comes in 2 colors. The one I have is gray. There's another one is black color. Now, those 2 colors, they are the same for the international and the China only. Now, in terms of dimension, it's 65mm by 26mm by 48mm. In terms of the weight, the charging case is 55 grams, and the earbuds, it weighs 10 grams for both. Now, there are actually touch sensors on the earbuds itself. It has ANC, it has PNC, it also has dual transparency mode. I'll come to that a little bit later. Now, the earbuds itself are advertised by Xiaomi to last up to 6 hours without ANC, and the charging case are able to provide a further 28 hours. Are able to provide a further 22 hours, giving you a total of 28 hours usage. It uses actually USB-C fast charging port. It also has built-in Qi wireless charging. As I mentioned earlier at the beginning, it uses Bluetooth 5.2. It actually supports multi-device connection. It is rated to be IPX4 waterproof. That means it's resistant to sweat. And it uses a 9mm composite vibrating diaphragm coil. Now, putting all this aside, let's look at the design and build. Now, the design of the Redmi Buds 3 Pro personally is very refreshing. It actually deviates away from the usual design and shape which we have come to know of the AirDots series. It actually sports an oval shape, as you can see here. It's an oval shape, an egg-like shape, casing, and of course, if I were to put the Redmi Buds 3 Pro among other wireless earbuds, it actually stands out instantly. But of course, I mean, even though it's a refreshing look, but it retains the overall identity of the AirDots series, and that is simple and elegant. Now, the charging case itself is actually made of hard plastic. You can hear. Alright, it's made of hard plastic. It's matte finishing. Okay, and if you hold the casing in your hand, it feels pretty sturdy, solid, and premium. And of course, the round corners, alright, and the non-slip surface, it actually makes it very ergonomic to hold in your hand. Now, this is actually a big thumbs up to Xiaomi engineers. They are design engineers on this. Now, besides the Redmi logo at the back of the case, right, there's actually no other logos on the rest of the casing, as you can see from here. And this is something that I like, because I'm always someone who actually likes simple, if possible, logoless design on the carrying case of a lot of wireless earbuds. And you can see from here, the Redmi logo at the back, okay, it's actually of a deeper grey as compared to the rest of the casing, which actually is in a lighter shade of grey. Now, on the front of the casing, you actually find that there's actually a physical button. Now, the function of this physical button is actually for you to either reset or deactivate the pairing mode of the Buds 3 Pro. Now, at the bottom, you actually see the USB-C charging port, and of course, the wireless Qi charging is built within the casing itself. Now, when you plug in the charging cable at the bottom, now the single LED light at the front, it will light up to indicate charging. This will also be the same when you put the Buds 3 Pro on a wireless Qi charging pad. Now, if you look closely, now above the front white LED light, you will see there's a thin line across the entire thing. Now, this is actually to indicate the lid. Now, the lid itself actually, it has quite a snappy spring, right? And this actually allows you to open it easily with one hand, like you see here. See, I'm flipping it open with just my thumb, right? Though there's one thing to take note is that the spring in the lid actually, it doesn't offer any resistance to hold the lid at any angle you want. So once you push it open beyond a certain angle, it will just go back to the back. Right, you just flip open to the back. Okay, so there's something to take note. Now, the charging case itself, it actually uses a magnet to keep the lid closed. The magnet is here and here. Alright, so when you close it, it actually wobbles a little bit. You can see here, it wobbles a little bit. Okay, so I mean, for some of you, this might be a concern, but for me, it actually doesn't bother me one bit. Now, once you open the lid, you're actually greeted with a pair of gems or eyes, okay? It's oval shaped gems, no, not real gems. They're staring at you. Now, if I turn the earbuds, these are actually the earbuds to the side. They actually sit half exposed. Now, you also realize that the earbuds are actually tilting up in an upward tilting angle. Alright, and then there's a dent. Here you see, next to the earbud housing. Now, this design has a purpose behind it. It's actually to allow you to use your finger to peer it towards you, so that it actually slides out. Right, so this actually allows you to actually take the earbuds out with a single hand, alright, instead of using two hands. Okay, so the earbuds itself, as you can see here, alright, the earbuds itself, it screams style because it's a completely new design. Just like the casing itself is a completely new design, deviating from the entire AirDots series. Alright, now if you can see from here at the side view here, that the earbuds are definitely thicker. Alright, and then the side, it actually slopes downwards. Alright, at a very steep angle. Now, such a design, if you look from the side here, you see, it's actually sloping downwards. Now, such a design, it actually reminds me of another earbud, which is called the Basis WM01, right? Because it has also something similar, a bit like a trapezium, whereby the top is narrow and then it's sloped very steep. Now, such a steep slope, it actually allows your fingers to grab the side easily without even touching the sensors here. Because over here, this gem, this is actually the sensor. Alright, so it actually allows your finger to just grip it by the side. And of course, when you hold the earbuds in your hand, it actually feels very well built with a little bit of weight. Okay, and of course, if you can see here, the earbuds finishing is the same as the casing, matte finishing grey. Alright, the same finishing. Alright, and then as I mentioned earlier, this cat eye gem here, this is actually the multi-touch control area. Okay, and then at the top here, you will actually see the first microphone, which is actually meant for phone calls. Now, if you flip the earbuds around, you will see that this one is indicating L at the top here. Okay, of course, there's another one which indicates R. See here. Alright, so this is indicating left and right. Okay, now, if you look at the just below the indication, you'll see that there's actually a wire mesh. Now, behind the wire mesh, it actually houses the second microphone, which actually acts as a feed forwarding mic, as well as the in-ear sensor. So it's all built behind, it's all hidden behind this mesh. Now, if you look at the ear tip itself here, okay, I'm not too sure if you can focus on the ear tip, okay, but inside the ear tip, alright, it actually houses the feedback microphone. Alright, this is probably to assist with the active noise cancellation when it's actually activated or when you're on transparency mode. Alright, now the wire mesh in the ear tip and also this wire mesh just below the indicator. Now, these two wire mesh, they actually have a secondary function, and that is to actually regulate the air pressure within your ear and also to act as a release of the heat built up in your ear, alright, so that you don't feel uncomfortable when the moment you actually put the earbuds on. And this is actually very smart. Now, putting aside all the general things, I would say that the first thing we should talk about regarding the Redmi Buds 3 Pro is the battery life. Now, Xiaomi actually mentioned the battery life for both the casing and the earbuds to be at 470 milliamps and 35 milliamps respectively. Now, they also claim that the earbuds can last up to 6 hours per usage. Alright, so this is actually with ANC off at 50% volume, and the audio is actually AAC codec. Now, the casing itself is able to provide an additional 22 hours, again, if you're looking at ANC off, 50% volume and AAC and codec. So this will actually give you a total of 28 hours. Now, on my own testing, the Buds 3 Pro, they're actually able to last around 5 hours on music at 100% volume and 6 hours on 50% volume. The thing is, this is actually with ANC on. Pretty sure if you deactivate the ANC, you should be able to get more mileage out of the earbuds on every charge. Okay, now in terms of talk time, the Buds 3 Pro, they lasted around 5 hours, be it on phone calls or video calls or webinars, Zoom, etc., Skype. Alright, now for mixed usage, the Buds 3 Pro, it lasted around 4.5 hours, and we're actually talking about 3.5 hours on music at 100% volume with ANC on and 1 hour talk time. So, in my personal opinion, I feel that the Buds 3 Pro, the battery life performance, is actually better than what Xiaomi advertised. And this is actually very important because at the end of the day, the one true question when we ask about battery life is not really about the single usage. It's actually more on the battery longevity. Because if the earbuds itself, they can actually perform better than what Xiaomi advertised, I mean, in the long run, if you're talking about 1 year later, 1.5 years later, or 2 years later, whereby the battery within the earbuds and the charging case, they start to actually deteriorate. I'm pretty sure that if you're able to get 6 hours in the beginning, let's say 1 year later, 2 years later, you will probably lose about 20%. That means to say you would still get very decent battery life, let's say 5 hours or 4.5 hours, which is very important because this answers a fundamental concern for a lot of people, whereby when they ask such questions about battery life, they're actually asking about battery longevity. And sorry for the thunder because it's outside, it's actually raining right now. Okay, so if you hear some thunder, I'm actually recording this video while there's actually a thunderstorm happening outside my own house. Now let's move on to the second important thing to consider about the Buds 3 Pro, and that is the day-to-day functionality. Now, the initial Bluetooth pairing experience with my iPhone was surprisingly easy. Once you open the lid, you just need to press the physical button on the front of the casing, hold it down for about 2 seconds, and on the Bluetooth menu, you will actually see Redmi Buds 3 Pro pop up, and tap on it, and within 2 seconds, the pairing will be completed. It's very easy. Now, the same process will be repeated for Android phones as well. Laptops, MacBooks, PC, etc. It's the same. Now, subsequent Bluetooth reconnection with the devices that you have paired is almost instant. All you need to do is open the lid and you'll be instantly reconnected. It's very easy. Now, the new feature within the Buds 3 Pro, as advertised by Xiaomi, is actually this multi-device feature, which actually allows you to connect with 2 different devices at the same time. On my own personal testing, I will actually alternate the Buds 3 Pro between my iPhone and my M1 MacBook Air. So I will be listening, to music on my, M1 Air, and if there's a phone call coming in through my iPhone, the Buds 3 Pro will actually automatically switch over to my iPhone so that I can answer the phone call. And then at the same time, it will actually automatically pause the video or music on my M1 Air. Once I end the phone call on my iPhone, it will automatically switch back to my M1 Air and resume the music or video. Now that is actually very nice. Alright, considering that this is the very first pair of ANC wireless earbuds from Xiaomi. Now, on a day-to-day basis, the Buds 3 Pro is actually very comfortable to wear, despite its size. It actually sits very comfortable in my ear, and thanks to the ventilation and the relief holes, to actually balance the internal and external pressure, the Buds 3 Pro actually, firstly, it doesn't trap heat. Secondly, I actually do not feel any ear fatigue. Even if I have to wear them for like 4 to 5 hours straight, they are actually very comfortable to wear the entire day. Now, let's talk about this next big feature on the Buds 3 Pro, and that is the noise cancellation. Now, if memory serves me right, this is the very first pair of wireless earbud from Xiaomi which features active noise cancellation, and of course, transparency mode as well. So now, to trigger ANC, all you need to do is to press and hold on the touch area on either side of the earbuds for 2 seconds, and the ANC will be triggered. To off it, same thing. Just press and hold for 2 seconds and it will actually trigger the transparency mode. Now the thing is that once you put the earbuds on, alright, even without triggering the ANC, because of its in-ear design, it will actually start to block out some of the environment noise instantly. And of course, once the ANC kick in, you could actually tell a huge drop in the noise. And this is all without you even playing your favorite tracks. For the past 2 weeks, I would say that the ANC on the Buds 3 Pro, they work fine in most cases. They are able to block out, most low humming noises, like coming from your air condition or from your fan, from the washing machine, that's also able to block out most road noises and constant noises. But the thing is to take note is that if you're someone who actually commutes regularly on buses, now I would like to mention is that the ANC sometimes will struggle with the higher frequency of the bus engine noise. This is something I realize on a regular basis because I travel on buses as well. Sometimes when I'm sitting on different segments of the bus, depends on whether I'm closer to the bus engine or I'm further away from the bus engine, the ANC will perform differently. So if you're sitting closer to the bus engine, which sometimes is at the back of the bus, the ANC will struggle. But if you sit like in the middle or at the front of the bus, no issues at all. The thing is coming back is that this is a pair of active noise cancellation wireless earbud, which is priced at $50 US, or even lower, if it's on sale. So I think there is nothing to grumble about here. Now, when it comes to gymming, working out, jogging, cycling, the IPX4, waterproof rating is nice. It also means that the Buds 3 Pro is actually resistant to sweat. If it gets a little bit dirty, you can just take it out and wash it, have a quick wash under, regular water tap. And then tap it dry, put it on again. It works fine. And will they drop out? Well, they didn't move at all when I actually wore the Buds 3 Pro for jogging. It's very comfortable to wear them during jogging because they don't trap heat. And even when I get all sweaty, it doesn't move at all. But the thing is that I feel that the Buds 3 Pro is not really suitable for more intense workout, such as some of you like to go for F45 or you like to go for those high intensity workout. I wouldn't really recommend going for the Buds 3 Pro unless you're able to find an aftermarket accessory such as an ear wing, alright, or some ear hooks to make sure that the Buds 3 Pro are more secured within your ears, alright, because the side of the, as you can see here, alright, because the side of the earbuds, there's nothing, alright, there's nothing to hook on, to actually hook it on, alright. Now, in terms of the ANC feature for workout, so far from my testing, they work fine. During my jogging sessions, they are able to actually block out most of the environment noise, but the ANC feature still allows me to be aware of my surroundings because it doesn't block out certain noises like car horns and bicycle bells. So even with my ANC on, as I'm jogging, if there's a bicycle coming up from behind me, if they ring the bell, I will still be able to hear it, and then I'll just move to one side of the road so that the bicycle can bypass me. Now, even though I've been mentioning about a lot of good points about the Buds 3 Pro on a day-to-day basis, I'll still want to mention a few bummers which I actually experienced after using it, as my daily driver for the past 2 weeks. The first bummer is actually the touch control. Now, the thing is that, why do I say that? Now, even though the Buds 3 Pro, they come pre-installed with a few commands, if you don't own a Xiaomi branded smartphone, which is at least MIUI version 12, you are going to be stuck with these controls. And it actually make it worse that the MIUI application, it doesn't detect the Buds 3 Pro. It only detects the AirDots 3 Pro, which is a China-only variant. Alright, so this is something to take note for some of you here who actually intends to get the Buds 3 Pro and you do not own a Xiaomi branded smartphone. You're gonna be stuck with the controls, with no additional features, or functions or customization, etc. Now, the second bummer is there seems to be a technical bug between the microphone and ANC, and this is actually pretty obvious on several occasions when I actually answer a phone call when either I'm waiting on MRT platform or I'm actually walking along a busy road. I mean, it's more obvious when I'm in an outdoor environment whereby there is a sudden fluctuation in noise. Like one moment it can be very noisy and the next moment it drops. and then next moment it goes very noisy again and then it drops again. There's a huge fluctuation. Is that I realized that whenever I answer a phone call and then I start to talk, I would be able to hear myself. There's like an echo of my last word. I'm not too sure if this is because I'm using an iPhone, because it's the same when I test it on other Android phones. I have the same issue as well. I'm not able to verify whether is this a technical bug as well on a Xiaomi branded smartphone, because I don't have any Xiaomi phone which actually is able to allow it to be updated to MIUI 12. Yeah, so for those of you who actually do not face this problem, at all, do let me know in the comment section, because I face this on both iPhone and on other Android devices. The third bummer is actually the Xiaomi MIUI app. Now, why do I say that? The thing is that the MIUI app, it's currently only available China only. That means if you're in China, it's available, or you're able to download it, via third-party website. And what makes it worse is that Xiaomi actually removed the support from Apple devices completely. I think it was about 1 or 2 years ago. So even if you have the MIUI app installed in your previous versions of iPhone, I doubt you will be able to update it accordingly because they stopped the support. So this is something to take note if you intend to get the Buds 3 Pro. Now the fourth bummer is the lack of a battery indication. So now if you look closely, when I open up the lid, this is what I mean, the battery indication, the LED light, sometimes indicates, sometimes it doesn't indicate. There's no clear indication on how much battery is left in the case. So I hope that if possible, if there's a possible way to update, I hope that there's a firmware update for the Buds 3 Pro to rectify this issue. Now let's move on to the third major thing to consider, and that's actually the audio and music quality of the Buds 3 Pro. Now, the Redmi Buds 3 Pro, they actually use a 9mm composite vibrating diaphragm coil. Wow, that's very long, okay? And the thing is that it actually supports both SBC and AAC codec, which is the reason why I can actually use it with my iPhone. Now for music, I would say overall the sound quality is pretty polished. The soundstage is pretty decent as well. Though it doesn't really give me those crazy heavy bass as compared to other earbuds I've tested, alright? But it's good. I mean, it's sufficient, it's good. Most of the music I listen, it doesn't really sound very flat. Now in terms of vocals, it's pretty nice, clear, sharp, though I wish that certain music, the vocals could be a bit louder, but I mean that's more of my own personal preference. But overall, vocals, nice, good, clear, sharp. But I would say that the Buds 3 Pro at $50 with ANC, it's good enough for most music. Though, I mean, I can't really compare to the higher ones, like the Sonys or the Bose or Sennheisers. It can't really compare with those. Now, when it comes to watching videos with the Buds 3 Pro on YouTube and Netflix, it's good, nice. There's no audio delay, which is very important. Right now, for gaming, I would say that even though Xiaomi actually advertised the latency to be around 69 milliseconds, personally, even though I'm actually a casual gamer, I would still say that I won't recommend the Buds 3 Pro for gaming, because the sound effect audio delay is pretty obvious when you're gaming. Alright, that's like a half a second delay. Alright, so I won't really recommend the Buds 3 Pro for gaming. I mean, for music, video, movies, it's perfectly fine. But for gaming, no. That's a no for me. And of course, finally, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'll be including a variety of audio clips to demonstrate the audio quality of the microphone. Alright, so remember to put your earbuds on. This is how your voice will sound like on the iPhone 12 mini. This is how your voice will sound like on the iPhone 12 mini.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. This is a mic test on the Redmi Buds 3 Pro. This is a mic test on the Redmi Buds 3 Pro. I'm currently in a coffee shop. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. This is a mic test on the wind on the Buds 3 Pro. There's gonna be some wind. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. It's a mic test on the Redmi Buds 3 Pro. This is a mic test on the Redmi Buds 3 Pro. I'm currently walking outside. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. 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 This is a mic test on the Buds 3 Pro. This is a mic test on the Redmi Buds 3 Pro. Currently walking through a park. There's some wind over here. So let's see if you can actually hear me very clearly. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. 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 This is a mic test on the Redmi Buds 3 Pro. I'm currently in a hawker center. This is a mic test on the Buds 3 Pro. Currently in a hawker center with ANC on. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. This is a mic test on the Redmi Buds 3 Pro. I'm currently in a coffee shop with transparency mode. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Test, Buds 3 Pro. Really good now with some wind. Testing the Buds 3 Pro. Testing on busy roads with some wind blowing at me. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Alright, finally, we have come to the one most important question is it worth it to get the Redmi Buds 3 Pro? Or should you get something else? I mean, well, for a pair of wireless earbud, firstly, it looks great actually. I can't deny that, right? It looks great. It has ANC, it has transparency mode, it has wireless Qi charging, dual device or multi-device connection and switching. Not only that, but it's at $50 US. For me, this is a great option and it's actually a good investment in this category. $50 US with ANC, with transparency, it's wireless, it lasts for like 5.5 to 6 hours on a single charge. Battery cake give you an additional 22 hours or even more, maybe even up to 30 hours depending on your volume output. And not only that, it actually allows me, an iPhone user, to use it on a regular basis. Alright, so I personally feel that this is worthwhile to get it. I would even go further to claim that the Redmi Buds 3 Pro is the new king of budget ANC wireless earbuds. Alright, and there you have it. This is actually my personal review of the Redmi Buds 3 Pro. And I hope that my sharing has actually helped you I mean, if it did, it would be great if you could actually smash the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and if you feel that this is a very good content to share with your friends, please share with as many friends as you can if they're actually considering the Buds 3 Pro. At the end of the day, it would be good if you could actually share your own experience in the comment section below. Let me know. If you have any problems, issues, let me know. I'll do my best to help you out. And my name is Johnny, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!